Blue 4, Foxtrot, cross 4 left, where do you enter?
North ramp, Blue 4, clear to cross 4 left.
Blue 4, roger, where do you enter the ramp?
Delta down.
We have 5 brand new terminals coming on stream. We have 22 airport models. We have plans for cargo sheds. We have plans for fresh farm produce terminals across the airports. Our airport system is tremendously on the upswing, and I believe that policy continuation, consistency in implementing the plans will go a long way in bringing out the best out of the Nigerian airport system. I'll put the service improvement in 2 folds. First of all is the fact that we launched the Aviation portal, which is targeted at the airlines to see the performance of the airlines, on-time performance of flights in Nigeria.
Air transport plays a leading role in the movement of people, goods and services in the transport industry. Facilities in most existing airports in the country had become dilapidated and were no longer capable of coping with increased demands for air travel. The federal government at the time believed that the country's aviation sector needed to be reconstructed and fortified so that the aviation industry could serve as a vehicle for sustainable economic development. Most of the runways at these airports, with the exception of those in Lagos, Abuja, and Kano, had become inadequate to handle modern long-haul aircraft. Terminal buildings had become inadequate to accommodate the upsurge in passenger movement across the country. Facilities at all existing airports were to be upgraded and modernized.
The Federal Airports Authority was created by an act of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and we are an organization that are in charge of airports across the country, specifically federal government-owned airports. We also provide, by that act, even airports that do not belong to the federal government under our purview in the area of security and fire cover.
Key reforms have been made by the Goodluck Jonathan administration in order to reposition the aviation industry to cope with the increasing demand for air travels. The Aviation Master Plan, together with its implementation framework, have been developed to confront the sector's numerous challenges, with a view to providing a safe, secure, profitable, and self-sustaining world-class industry with a distinct airport experience for travelers.
With the aviation commits, what we have seen is an industry-wide change of focus away from the service providers to the customers. Turning the aviation industry into a customer-centric industry has been my goal. You can build the best airports, you can have the best airlines, but if the customer experience is not good, you're bound to have problems. And customers traverses all the areas of the aviation industry.
The customer is keen, and that is why several strategies were put in place. One of which is that the creation of the aviation portal, which gives the customer the power in his palm, such that with a touch of the button, you can launch into the portal, you'll be able to book your flight, you'll be able to track the performance of airlines, you'll be able to look at the options, the cost. In fact, if you have complaints, you'll be able to launch the complaints. And where you have unruly customers, the airlines also have an opportunity to also put in those in the portal. So it's an interactive session.
Key reforms undertaken to achieve these include measures to encourage the growth of the domestic airlines, improved regulatory oversight, safety projects, and infrastructural development. One of the visible impacts of these reforms in the northwest is the Aminu Kano International Airport in Kano. Kaduna Airport and Shehu Shagari Airport in Sokoto have been overhauled with remodeled terminals and modern air navigational and safety equipment installed. This has improved the passenger experience and is attracting foreign and domestic airlines to the zone.
For the parastatals, we have airlines as our customers. We have the public. We have pilots as customers. For NAMA, they have pilots, they have air traffic controllers who provide service to various people. For passengers, they have airlines, they have FAN. For NCAA, they are the regulators. They have. So we're looking at the customer not just at the public, but at everybody who interacts with the aviation industry goes away with a positive experience. So we continue to measure the impact of our progress on service delivery across all the gamut of the industry. And consistently over the past 2 months, we've seen an increase in the performance level of the airlines.
We've had a lot of expansion of airports. We've had a situation where new airports were created. I recall that the Honorable Minister of Aviation, Chief Osita Chidoka, while opening of the Kebbi Airport, emphasized the need for what is called Access Nigeria. That is opening up the country and the nooks and crannies of the country so that people will have access to the country. And so much has been done in that sector.
Construction of new upgraded control towers, development of 4 international terminals at Kano, Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt, remodeling and reconstruction of the following international airports: Lagos, Calabar, Kaduna, Enugu, Port Harcourt, Kano, Yola, Owerri, Benin, Jos, Abuja, Sokoto, Akure, Katsina, Ibadan, Ilorin, Makurdi, Bauchi, Maiduguri, Gombe, and Jalingo, resurfacing and extension of runways.
President Jonathan administration has made tremendous progress with the Nigerian airport system. The aviation sector is one of the poster childs of this administration's success story. And I believe very firmly that the aviation sector will continue to be a defining segment of President Jonathan's administration.
For the first time in over 3 decades, all 22 federal-owned airports across the country have been remodeled. Abuja International Airport, Lagos International Airport, Lagos Airport Local Wing, Port Harcourt International Airport, Calabar, Enugu, and Kano airports were visited to see the work done firsthand and compare them with the old state. Obsolete power infrastructure is being replaced and upgraded across the airports in the country. Installation of state-of-the-art communication and surveillance infrastructure, making communication between air traffic controllers and pilots much more seamless. Installation of cutting-edge navigational aids and instruments, landing system, including runway lights and total radar coverage.
Security is such a complex thing that you can't say I'm at the height of it. But the most important is that we're committed to continuous improvement. It's one area where the performance management system we're putting in place evaluates risk. We are drawing up a risk management framework during which we are going to look at all the vulnerabilities that are possible in the airport and continue to close the gaps.
We've tried our best, we've been doing our best. We don't sleep. We do a lot of patrolling, surveillance, and all that to ensure that, we don't have any unfortunate incident in any of our airports.
The vulnerability assessment and consistent improvement, because the trend of terror, the trend of security lapses continue to evolve. It is not static. They're always changing strategy, they're always changing style, so we need to continue to evolve. So I believe that our airports are quite ready and have the resilience to continue to rebuild itself.
The administration has been very supportive in ensuring we have the best of equipment.
The current administration have been able to restructure the aviation industry so much that it now contributes 119 billion naira to the nation's GDP. 59 billion naira directly through the output of the aviation sector, that is, airlines, airports, and ground services. 34 billion naira indirectly contributes through the aviation sector supply chain, and 27 billion naira contributes through the spending by the employees of the aviation sector and its supply chain. In addition, 78 billion naira in Catholic benefits through tourism, which raises the overall contribution to 198 billion naira of the GDP. The objective of the Federal Ministry of Aviation is to build a safe, secure, and efficient aviation industry focused on making Nigeria a hub that meets international standards and best practices for the African continent.
We operate under the direction and confines of the NCA, who are also in turn operate based on the umbrella safety body, which is ICAO, the International Civil Aviation Authority, based in Canada. So most of what we do is regulated, and like you know, aviation is worldwide. It's not restricted to one area or the other. We have common laws that applies to all countries because of standardization.
But we've not been quite compliant to ICAO standards. Our airports have not been certified according to ICAO standard. We've started the process of certification of the airports. We haven't we've made progress, but we haven't come to the end of it. So I believe that one of the key goals remains to certify Nigerian airports and bring it in line with the ICAO standards. We have done pre-audit meetings, we've done pre-checks, and we're hoping that by the time we come to the audit, Nigeria will come out successful, like we did with the FAA Category 1 certification. So it's a matter of our understanding. We have a strong understanding of the ICAO standards, and we're already self-examining ourselves to make sure that the audit is a success. So I believe that we'll be successful in the audit.
The future is aviation, and that is why so much attention is being paid by this administration in opening up the sector in the area of aviation.
The aviation sector now supports 159,000 jobs in Nigeria. This total comprises 44,000 jobs directly supported by the aviation sector, 64,000 jobs indirectly supported through the aviation sector supply chain, and 51,000 jobs supported through the spending by the employees of the aviation sector and the supply chain. In addition, there is a further 130,000 people employed through the Catholic tourism effects of aviation.
We've done a lot in terms of safety, infrastructure, security infrastructure, the remodeling, which you can see with the physical eye. We've also placed a lot of emphasis in terms of customer satisfaction because with the Minister, Chief Osita Chiduka, the issue of customer satisfaction is pivotal to what we operate.
Geography is on our side, demography is on our side, and I think with consistent planning and long-term vision and also long-term implementation and not having policy discontinuations, Nigeria will definitely be a hub in Africa. All the parameters to do that are here. All the ingredients for us to cook that meal is here. All we need to do is to focus and implement religiously.
All these and more are giant strides that have been achieved by the present administration in the aviation sector, and it has been able to bring the aviation sector of the country to the forefront as a major player in the game, being compared to other international standards.
We think that Nigeria should have a national carrier that is private sector driven, and I hope that that will come to materialize.